So today I'm reading on breakingisraelnews.com. They are confirming something that I have been saying for the last couple years about the time frame of the reestablishing of Jerusalem. The reappointing, the reanointing of Jerusalem, as it is written in Daniel 9. We'll go to that. Daniel 9. And this is, and again, I have been told, Henry, stop reading Daniel 9. But as I have said, I will continue to read Daniel 9 and talk about Daniel 9 till the breath of life is taken from my body. Now, in Daniel 9, Daniel was confessing the sins of himself and the people of Jerusalem, Judah, and all Israel, leaving none out. And asking Jehovah to turn us, Israel, Judah, and Jerusalem from our iniquities. And acknowledging that Jehovah had brought calamity upon all Israel because of iniquity. And he, over and over, Daniel is talking about this. And he is saying in verse 19, O Jehovah, hear, forgive, hearken, and do. Do not wait. Don't defer for your own sake. And see, he agrees with what is written in other prophets. Not for Israel's sake does he do this, but for his own name's sake, for his own reputation's sake, and for your city and your people who are called by your name. While he was speaking and praying and confessing the sin of his own sin and the people of sin and the people of Israel, presenting his supplication before Jehovah for Jerusalem, for the holy mountain. Yes, I'll speak in first person now. Yes, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation, and he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give you skill and understanding. At the beginning of the supplications of the commandment came forth, and I am come to show you, for you are greatly beloved. Therefore understand the matter and consider division. Now for those of you who tell me to stop reading Daniel 9, I will instead defer to the words of Gabriel. He said, understand. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. So I'm going to consider Daniel's vision. I'm going to seek to understand this matter continually. 70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon your holy city to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint, reappoint the most holy place. The most holy place on this earth today is none other than Jerusalem. Now, I'm stopping there because I have gone over the rest of this aplenty. And I will go back to this article. And this article is, I hope I don't lose my place here. It is called Photos. Priests reenact temple first fruits offering, paving way for greater Jerusalem. Now, at first glance, you don't see much, but when you go down to the picture where it says Jericho is the eastern border of greater Jerusalem, continue in the following paragraph. This, coming after Jerusalem's Jubilee. Who was it that has been talking about Jerusalem's Jubilee? Was precisely the time to establish greater Jerusalem. So this article is saying just after Jerusalem's Jubilee was precisely the time to establish greater Jerusalem. Now, what did we just read in Daniel 9? In verse 24, 70 weeks or 77s, and I counted them off to you, and I will explain it again. 62 weeks. In verse 26 was the time of Zerubbabel, his call to rebuild Jerusalem, unto Messiah's death. Look at it, you will see it. The 1 week was appointed for the destruction of Jerusalem, as it is written in verse 27, and it took 3.5 years, or the middle of the week, to actually get the job done. So that week is also finished, leaving 7 sevens left. The 7 sevens are as in verse 25, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem unto Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks. With the 62 weeks already accounted for in verse 26, and the 1 week already accounted for in verse 27. Now, what did this rabbi say? This coming just after Jerusalem's Jubilee was precisely the time to establish greater Jerusalem. Now, it is my understanding that Jerusalem's Jubilee begins this Shavuot. So what this fellow is saying, now I don't know if he's right or not, but when I see something that is of great significance concerning Jerusalem, I'm going to point it out. So he is saying, just after Jerusalem's Jubilee, is it after Jerusalem's Jubilee ends or after it begins? I think what he is saying is once it begins was precisely the time to establish greater Jerusalem. Rabbi Weiss said, and Shavuot is the holiday that celebrates Jehovah giving Israel the land of Israel. The Sanhedrin modeled their ruling after the same action performed by Ezra and Nehemiah, who mapped the boundaries of the city of Jerusalem when they returned to rebuild the temple in the 5th century BC. or BCE. Now, Ezra and Nehemiah, that was when Zerubbabel was the governor of Judah. Zerubbabel made that call to rebuild Jerusalem. And they also, at that time, rebuilt the temple. But the call was to specifically rebuild Jerusalem. So, let me go click this word Jubilee because he's got something. Okay. So, 50th year and proclaim. So it goes to an article by Adam Eliyahu Berkowitz back in July 11, 2016. Now, it says that after a full year of deliberation, the nascent Sanhedrin has announced that this year is the first year in the counting of the 50-year Jubilee cycle. So what they're saying is that the Jubilee cycle was counted, the 50th year comes a period of 7 sabbatical. Okay, I'll keep reading. I'm trying to figure out what they're saying. Are they saying that, because as I understand it, let's see here, 67 to 2000, yes, it actually started, not this Shavuot, but 2016 Shavuot. That's right. The Jubilee started then. So what this means is that this Shavuot that was in May 30th as Shavuot as the Jews keep it. Okay. Let's not get into arguments about what day is the correct day. I'm not going to go there. What I'm going to do is this Shavuot in 2017 or 5, I can't remember what it is, what the Hebrew year is anymore. It was May 30th through June the 1st. On the Roman calendar of 2017, then, is when the Jubilee ended. Now, going back to this article, according to Rabbi Weiss, or the man who they call Rabbi Weiss, we're not supposed to call anyone rabbi except for our Messiah. But he says Shavuot, okay, he says this coming just after Jerusalem's Jubilee. So Jerusalem's Jubilee was finished this past Shavuot. He says that it's precisely the time to establish Greater Jerusalem. So his timeline agrees with Daniel 9. And I agree with his timeline. I have been saying, like I said, for the last year or possibly two, that we are sitting in that timeline. Now I know we are right there. I've got this. This is more proof. So, expect things to happen this year. Now, they're talking about, in this article, they're talking about the third temple. As you know, I have talked about the third temple too. The problem is, I do not agree that the third temple is going to be built. I believe it already has been built, and that was the one that was destroyed. I'm not going to get into arguments over that. But I am here to tell you that I believe that this article, this man they call Rabbi Weiss, and myself are in agreement on the timeline of the reappointing, the reanointing of the holy place, and the forgiveness of the sins of Judah, the forgiveness of the sins of Jerusalem, and the forgiveness of the sins of all Israel, near and far. Everything having to do with Israel. The time of forgiveness of sin on Israel is at hand, which means that the time of judgment upon the Gentiles for what they did to Israel, according to the words of Joel in Joel 3, are also about to begin. And what we have here is we have leaders in Israel knowing the timeline, knowing that the time we are right at the doorstep. And I have not been studying those people. They have not been reading, watching my videos. Very few people watch my videos. I am extremely insignificant when it comes to the affairs of Israel. But I marvel how, though we disagree on a lot of things, but here we have this one thing that we agree on, and it is pivotal. That reappointing, reanointing of the holy place is pivotal. It is the thing, the marker that the followers of Yeshua and all Jews, near and far, all lost Israel, should be looking for. That is the marker. So I'm extremely pleased to have seen this. It makes me very happy. At the very least, it makes me feel like I'm on the right track. So I hope that those who are watching this video find this significant. I most certainly do.